looks like we have one, which is Kathy Carter. Please come in. Thank you.
Good morning. I have two things I didn't see on the agenda, and I thought they would be on unfinished business, so I was wondering if we could get an update, one on the fencing around the pickleball courts, because I didn't see that coming up on the agenda, and then the second thing, scheduling a town hall meeting. The board voted to do that before we continued discussion on guest policy, and I don't see scheduling town hall meeting on the agenda anywhere. And last time I requested, not that it was accepted or anything, but that we have it in September so that by October we can start discussions based on some of that information, or to include some of that information on updating our guest policy. So those two things I didn't see, and I was wondering if we could have some information on both of those.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I can respond to one of them.
Okay.
So Kathy, the pickleball fencing will be on the agenda for all the standing committees for the month of September. So starting next week, it will go to Recreation and Landscape, then it will go to ACC, then Ways and Means. So all of that needs the input before it goes to a town hall. We need to know what architecturally and everything, if they agree with the plans that might be presented.
Yeah, we don't even know if any bids have come back in yet.
Right, they have, and they will be presented at the committees. That's the normal procedure, that it goes to committees before final decision or a town hall.
Thank you.
Okay, the second one is the town hall for September.
Yeah, and that will be probably addressed, Kathy, in the conversation about the guest policy, which is still on the agenda.
I saw that under Ways and Means, but I thought that was just a budget item.
Well, it's an update to the actual update to the guest policy itself, at which time then we will have a conversation for requesting that gets scheduled. That needs to, that falls under Mr. Davis's purview to go ahead and start getting that scheduled based upon the motion that we had to accept and do that town hall. So we will have that conversation today.
And just to verify, the board had agreed on an October town hall.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it was in the minutes. They discussed September, but they thought October, before we could get through the process, would be more desirable. So it was agreed upon by the board for an October town hall.
Well, we're having it. It'll get scheduled. All right, with no other homeowners' comments, I would ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Tim, could you please confirm that we have a quorum? I can verify that every member is sitting in their seat with you on the phone.
Fantastic. Pursuant to Article 4, Section 7 of the bylaws of Westford Village, quorum 1/2 of the number of directors then serving shall constitute a quorum at a meeting of the board. There are 7 directors in Westford Village Board at this time. 4 directors must be present to meet quorum requirements. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's get started. We have a long agenda today. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully everybody had a nice time away this summer and are back in the village for the remainder of the year. First up is we need to make a correction to our May 7th, 2025 minutes. In our binders with pages 1 through 3, excuse me. At the bottom of page 2 and to the top of page 3, this is a conversation with the Second Sunday Marketplace. The word hire was inserted, and that was not the intent. The recreation manager and the general manager were to interview for second Sunday marketplace vendors. So we need to make that as a correction. The motion was made by Ms. Miller and seconded by Mr. Bernier. If we could correct that with their permission to indicate to interview a second Sunday marketplace vendor manager, I would request if we could amend that particular motion.
So moved or amended?
So do we need to change the word hire and hiring,
Correct.
both?
To accept,
Interview and interviewing?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 places.
I'll second, I concur with that.
okay.
I'll second.
Joe second, thank you, Matt. Okay, any additional conversation? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And Tim, please unmute and tell us yes or no.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our July 2nd, 2025 board meeting. Do we have any corrections to those minutes?
Motion.
Call for a motion, please.
I'll move that we accept the minutes for July 2nd.
Second.
Okay. Any comments, corrections, concerns? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we did not have an August meeting, so no minutes there. Moving on to our treasurer's report. You're up, Bruce.
Okay, folks, bear with me. I get to read 2 of these. Took last month off. This is the report for the month ending on June 30th, 2025. Our general operating fund. The general operating fund, which is designated for day-to-day operations, has a cash balance, including certificates of deposit of $2,786,588. Forecasted revenue for 2025 is $3,482,865, with $3,111,969 coming from our member assessments. Total revenue for June was $292,176. Total expenses for June were $296,873. For the year to date, we have a spending surplus of $34,605. Our replacement reserve fund. The reserve fund balance for the period ending June 30th, 2025 stands at $4,802,942, supported by home sales and the preservation fee associated with them. From June 1st through June 30th, there were, for the second straight month, 14 resales with 3 preservation fees waived. From January 1st through June 30th, there have been 93 resales in Westbrook Village, with 17 of those waived as preservation fees. The budget reserve fund expenditures for 2025 total $1,219,050, including planned projects such as perimeter wall repair, painting, HVAC replacement, RV lot complex resurfacing, perimeter fencing for the pickleball courts, long-range plan, professional services, and all other normal infrastructure repairs and replacements. Again, these financials are on file with our Westbrook Administration Office. For questions or to reschedule, call for an appointment. Thank you. Okay, moving on.
Hold on, you want to, let's do motion then, acceptance of that.
Bruce, go back up to the general operating fund. Either my glasses aren't working or I can't read these numbers, but I have 2,786,558, not 858.
It says 558. If I said 858, I apologize.
Okay. I just want to make sure
We have paperwork.
that's identical. All right.
I move that we accept the June 30th financial statements for both the operational and replacement funds based on audit. Subject to audit, thank you.
I second.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this particular month? Okay, hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Tim?
Yep.
Okay, that is passed. All right, Bruce, go ahead and do the next.
Okay, folks, this is the treasurer's report for the month ending July 31st, 2025. The general operating fund, which is designated again for day-to-day operations, has a cash balance including certificates of deposit of $2,576,875. The forecasted revenue for 2025 has not changed. It is $3,482,865, with $3,111,969 coming from member assessments. Total revenue for June was $281,493. Total expense for June was $233,158. For the year to date, we have still a spending surplus of $34,605. The reserve fund balance for the period ending July 31st, 2025 stands at $4,508,200. Supported by home sales and preservation fees associated with them. From July 1st through July 31st, there were 10 resales with 1 preservation fee waived. From January 1st through July 31st, there have been 103 resales in Westbrook Village, with 18 of those waived preservation fees. Budget reserve fund expenditures for 2025 total $1,219,050, including planned projects such as perimeter wall repair, painting, HVAC replacement, RV lot complex resurfacing, perimeter fencing for pickleball courts, long range professional services, and all other normal infrastructure repairs. Now, I am making a correction to my report that was brought to me last night, and instead of July, it should say August. At the August 27th Ways and Means meeting, Karen Jones, Westbrook Village Association General Manager, announced that there was a surplus in the operations checking account that was no longer required for daily business needs. Based on Karen's recommendation, the committee decided to transfer $175,000 from the operations account to the replacement reserve fund. Big deal. The management team's efforts to reduce operational costs enabled this transfer. Thank you to Karen and her staff. Again, these financials are on file at the administration office. Please call the schedule. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report for the month ending July 31st on both the general operating fund and the replacement reserve fund.
Subject to audit?
Subject to audit, thank you.
I'll second.
Okay.
And please include that correction on my
Already done.
typo. Okay,
Thank you.
All right, any comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? your hand. Okay. Tim?
Yes.
Okay. That is passed. All right, moving on. Unfinished business. Did I just have this? I think so. Right there. All right, facility usage report. So we have pages 30 to 35 are the reports for June 23 through July 27th of 25. Just take it individually. Do we have any questions, comments? Okay. And then we also have the July 28th through August 24th, 2025, which encompasses the pages 30 to 35. Questions, concerns? Okay. All right, carrying on, we're just gonna keep moving right along. Next, Vista Pools, exercise rails. So this particular item is the last item on the Vista Pool. We had tabled this because there was a question that had come up at the last meeting. We were looking at the 4-foot and 6-foot, and there was a request if we could potentially have 2 bars on that particular wall in the north wall in the Vistas pool. We tabled it to go have a conversation with Cal Pools to find out if we really could do that, given the fact that there's stairs and also the handicap assist chair is up there. And they say, yes, if we choose to, we can go ahead and put in 2 exercise bars in that particular area. So we have quotes for both the 4-foot and the 6-foot here. So if I could get a motion, I would appreciate it.
I'll move that motion.
To do which, 4 or 6? And how many?
Let's go for the 2.
2, quantity 2?
And the, what is it, the 2 4-footers or 2 6-footers?
That's the question, Matt. So
How many do we have in that pool at that time?
We've only had 1 in the past, but there is,
Not how many bars, how many people would you show up, and how many people would be using those bars at any one time?
well,
wait for the motion, 1 second.
so 2 was suggested and requested by the Vistas Aerobics. Okay, so that's on
Did they
page
specify
37.
length that they could use?
Did they specify what?
Length that they would use? Is that
Well, that was why I went back to the board to get the difference of $336 between the 2. 4-foot, you could maybe get 3 people to hold on to it during the class. 6-foot, 3 people could use it.
Okay, well, 6 footers.
Okay, so quantity 2, size 6 foot.
2 by 6 feet.
Okay,
I'll second that.
Jill?
All right, board questions or comments?
So I'd like to just give a quick summary.
Okay.
We spoke with Cal Pools, the drawing you're seeing with the highlighted yellow. There were numerous questions that came into play here. First of all, the west steps, we're talking about the north wall of the Vistas. The west steps, the handicap chair swing, where the skimmers are located, and then the ladder. And the other part is that it doesn't do us any good to put the exercise rails or the safety rails in 5 or 6 feet. So you want those rails to be in a 4-foot, 3.5, 4-foot area for aerobic use. So that's what Cal Pools suggested. They gave the 4 red arrows. The 2 red center arrows are in a deeper depth, 4.5 foot, 4 3/4 area. So the first arrow to the left is east of the handicap chair. So when you get in the handicap chair and it swings into the pool, person can get off of that chair. And we all agreed, Sean went out and did some measuring and things like that. That rail could be used by the person getting out of the chair. It's very convenient right there on the west. And then the east one is just around the wall as they had requested. So there is room for 2, 4, or 6 foot in those areas.
Hey, did you have a question or comment?
No. Is there someone here from the,
Yeah, me.
could you step up to the mic, please?
Sure. What do you need to know?
If you had your choice.
Just a minute, Kay, what is your subdivision? Kay Neighbors?
K Neighbors, Eagle Ridge.
Thank you.
So if the Vistas Water Aerobics Club had their choice, would you prefer the 4 or the 6 footers?
The 6.
For the reason stated? Because
Yes,
guys
you can
are-
get more people
Right,
on the 6 foot. You can probably get 3 people on each 6 foot. Take into consideration, there's usually 12 to 13 people at that pool.
okay.
And some of them will use the rail, and obviously they've not had a rail, so they'll do whatever they've been doing, so,
But it makes sense to put the rails in?
yes,
Okay, all right,
very much so.
thank you.
I've also had other people come up to me and say that they feel that it would be beneficial for rehabbing in the pool too, if they've had,
Take more room.
they have something easier to hold on to do more rehabbing in the pool.
I can
Because that doesn't have the bench like the lakes does, that goes
Okay.
all the way around.
Does, on this drawing, the yellow, and then there's the red. Is the red the deeper portion of
Yes,
the pool?
the pool goes like this.
Towards the center?
Yes.
Okay, thank
So
you.
the recommendation is in the
Oh.
area of the yellow.
Gotcha.
And the price that we're looking at, is that for 2? Oh, I see, each.
Yep.
All right, and we're adding 2 6-footers or 4 6-footers?
2 6-footers.
Right,
The motion was for 2 6-footers.
all right. Now, do we have to drain the pool and fill it back up to put these in?
Yes, there was already a motion to replace the blue tiles, so that would all be done at the same time.
All right, that's
This-
right, I do
This is the
remember.
last piece of it.
Okay. All right, I have no more questions.
Okay.
Okay, so Tim, this is a question. So the highlighted areas, are those 3.5 to 4 feet deep?
Yes, Tim, are you?
4 to 4, anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5, because the grade is,
There, yeah.
yes.
So depending on where they're holding on to the bar, in the yellow portion, it could be anywhere from 3.5 to 4.5 feet versus the one that's not yellow, which is even deeper. Is that the question?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay,
That's perfect.
okay. Okay, and then I'll get to you, right? Come up. Emma, you have to come up. You wear your walking shoes when you come here.
Do you have a date on when they're gonna take the tiles down?
Nope,
No,
nope.
just sometime when it gets cooler?
It's all about the temperatures, right? Right, they don't want to crack the shell, so they're waiting for
But
the
there's no
temperatures.
definite date, like it won't be November.
Have no idea. We've got to get the decisions here, and as soon as this is decided today, we'll send it to Cal Pools.
Depends on how fall.
Yeah, it's true, depends on the temperatures.
Okay, thank you.
Right?
Ray Jansen, Monterey Greens. Is it possible, I'm not for or against this, but is it possible to have the use of report put back up for the vistas so we can see how many people might actually be using this?
Sure, so Renee, if you'll return to page 34.
So which line are we looking for here?
I don't know, what are you looking for? Because you got different classes.
The
Do you want
the
pool?
usage by that class,
No, not just class.
well, the group, is this group on this chart? So we
Sure.
have
The
some
first,
idea?
the first one is water aerobics.
Okay,
But then you need to consider, like Marcy said, we've had a lot of people that talk about rehabbing, right? They get in the pool. And then, so that would be some of the pool and spa users.
okay, but the big group is the aerobics class.
Water aerobics, the 97.
Did they request these?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
so 97.
Yeah, so I'm just curious. So
Can you come back up to the
what years-
microphone, Ray?
Pardon?
Microphone, please.
You can't hear me?
No, you can bring it up. They can't hear you and the video can't
Well,
hear
let's be
you.
honest, the way you're standing, your bottom's being recorded.
Okay, so I'm just looking for some idea what the total year number is. So that would be, is there a total for the year, how many people might be using this?
623.
As of August
August
24th.
24th, 623.
But that's year to date, right? That's
Correct.
not a full year. So it might be 900 or so.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay, I just want to have a feel for how many people might be using these.
correct.
So, okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, any other comments, questions, concerns? Okay, hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor of 2 6-foot bars in the Vista pools, raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Okay, moving on. WVA membership guest policy update from Bruce.
Okay, Ways and Means discussed this to the nth degree. It was quite a contentious discussion. And it was our feeling that it is best that we put our ideas on how to address this in front of the community and let them have a say in it. So at this point, we're asking the board to allow us to put this into a survey, put out to the community so they understand what we're looking at. There are 3 options that we had come up with, and each one of these came from a different member of the committee. So as you can see, there are a lot of different opinions on this. Would you like me to read them, or just?
No, I think they can see
Okay,
them.
everybody can see those up there.
Why don't we go ahead and let me call for a motion on this, and then we can open it for discussion.
I move that the board requests the staff to go ahead and submit a survey for homeowners regarding this guest policy issue.
As presented?
Yes.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, all right, let's open it for conversation.
I think on that survey, one of the options should be keeping it what it is. And another question I have is, as far as the numbers are concerned, how did we come up with these numbers? Like, what information do we gather about what the actual burden of a guest is on each place that they use?
Do you want to talk about this, Bruce? I can do this too.
Sure. Okay, and a part of our conversation, I asked Karen to give us some statistics on how our guest usage is in the community for 2024 and 2025. Is this going to go up behind me, or is it not available?
It's not. We did
Okay.
not put it in the board binder.
So I'm going to read this to you slowly. This is for 2024 and year-to-date 2025. Our community has 3,910 homes with approximately 7,400 residents, plus or minus. The total swipes for guest passes in the year 2024, excuse me, not guest passes, total swipes for 2024 were 144,000. In comparison, for 2025, year-to-date, we are at 93,954. Guest punch use for 2024 was 10,182. 10,182 guest punches for 2024. Year-to-date, we are at 5,569 punches. The number of total residents who utilized guest passes in 2024, comp or paid, was 1,476 residents. In 2025, we are at 973. The total number of residents who purchased additional guest passes for 2024 for the cost of $25 is 239. Year-to-date for 2025, we were at 160. The number of residents who purchased more than 2 additional guest passes for 2024 were 11.
11.
That's 11. Year-to-date for 2025, we are at 5. So, as a member of the Ways and Means, this really spoke to me. We're talking about very few people. I hope everybody, I wish it was up on the screen, but I hope everybody understood what I'm telling you. We have done some comparisons with communities around us, and I know you don't like hearing that. But folks, we have to stay with the times. And we do have wear and tear on our facilities. And guests are part of that wear and tear, and we need to be aware of it. We're trying to rectify this. We're trying to be fair with all our residents and not just a select few. With that said, I have not much else to say.
You mean we didn't talk enough about this at Ways and Means?
For 2 months.
Forgive me, for 2 Ways and Means meetings, we discussed this for at least an hour, both times. And it's becoming exhausting. But we're trying to be mindful of everybody in our community. Thank you.
So we really don't have an amount of what each guest brings costs. Do I understand that correctly?
Well, do we need an exact amount in the sense that, you know, we allow guests to come in with us and they use our facilities, but our residents are the ones that are paying the majority of everything around here. And, you know, I agree that we need to come up a little bit more in our pricing, come up with it more of the time. One of the things in the research that was found out is that any other community gives 20 complimentary passes. We're not abolishing that. The 20 complimentary passes are staying in place. So this is really for that additional residents that purchase additional passes.
Which, if I understand, it's few.
But they're still bringing, we still have.
And I think the reason a lot of people don't like to hear comparisons to other communities is because we didn't buy in other communities.
But did
We
you
knew
not
what we were-
compare yourself to other communities when you bought in here?
Yeah, and we liked what is here.
Right.
So we bought here based on a lot of people, I hear this from a lot of people when I have this discussion with them, is it's not right to bring other communities into it because other communities frankly cost more, they're newer, they still have burdens on their on their centers, you know, that cost a lot more money than us. Ours doesn't cost as much to operate, and we owe it to the community that if we suggest an amount, we should be able to justify that amount. You know, if a guest comes into the pool area, in my own just thinking about what a guest would, you know, a 3-hour visit from a guest in the pool area probably costs 25 cents.
But that's 25 cents of somebody's money.
Yeah, that they paid for on the guest pass.
Right. But you can't, I just don't see how we can quantify that. I mean.
But yet we are here by coming up with these amounts.
Well, the same being true, we already charge an amount.
Right.
Because it is wear and tear on our facilities.
And that's why I said, you know, I think we need to have on the survey to keep it the same. I think what we charge right now is enough.
Well, $25 for extra ones?
Yeah.
So $1.25 per visit.
Mm-hmm.
So the wristbands and the cost of all that, the rest of the community should absorb that?
What do you mean? They're paying $1.25. You just said, so what's there to absorb? That's what I'm getting
The
at.
numbers show that the 20 free is where the majority of the use is.
Okay.
So we're buying 10,000 wristbands a year and all the residents here are paying for that. That they're not bringing in, those 7,400 residents aren't bringing in the guests.
Okay.
So
So maybe the question is why are we using wristbands?
how else do you verify that they're allowed to be there and they have,
They come in through the front door, they get scanned, and they get registered as a guest, right?
Is that your argument for pickleball fence? Because
I don't have an argument for a pickleball fence.
Yeah, because that's the thing, not all the facility is such that we know that people are allowed to be on our facility.
Yeah, there's ways to monitor that. You know, I brought that up before, you know, we should have monitoring at each entry point.
And the pickleball courts that need to be fenced.
No, just gated.
That's not the issue.
It's not, but, no, it's not about pickleball. It's about the safety of the community, okay? And I'm not getting into the pickleball fence argument, that's not what's on the calendar right now. What is the cost of the guest pass? Well, really what it is a survey that we want to send out to give all of the community the potential opportunity to voice what their thoughts are. And we're only doing this just as a precursor for doing the town hall. We're trying to gather as much data to go into the town hall to have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think part of the data really needs to be what is the encumbrance or what is the burden for each guest? What does that, you know, let's say we have to use the wristband. What does each wristband cost? How does that translate to each guest? You know,
I would like to interject a little bit of a different perspective. let's talk about the burden for each homeowner. We all had to buy a house for $200,000 to $800,000, and we also have to maintain that property to be a member of this community. And it's we as members that are extending this hospitality, and without some real recognition of that fact, I question if you're really being realistic about parity for those homeowners, for all homeowners with that. We all had a huge burden to get here.
What about the preservation fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I agree.
Yep.
So we've all paid for that, so I get to bring guests. That's part of it.
Yes, but I think the question now is becoming how many guests. I see this as a good way of curbing the number of guests a year. Is that, what was it, over 10,000?
Well, I think the current thing we have in place, and I bring it up, you've all heard me say I have a kind of a large family, 4 kids, 6 grandkids. And it's already a burden when we think about how often we're going to go use the facilities to buy another pass.
And how many times have you done that?
I haven't done it that many.
Do you know how many?
Maybe 2?
Okay. Over a couple years?
Oh, probably, yeah, maybe 2 in the past 5 years. I don't know for sure. My wife has on that, but, you know, but it's been on our minds, and maybe some other people might be able to think this way too. I'm not sure if they do, but I know on our minds, it's like, you know, we want to go down and spend some time down there with the family, but we end up staying at home and doing something else because we just don't want to buy all those guest passes. So
And that's
it's just
after
something
you use the 20 free?
even before, yeah. So we're just thinking ahead, like we're gonna have to buy another batch of 20 if we all go use it. Because you know, by the time everybody comes over, there's however many that is, plus us 12. So it's just things.
So have you ever
that
taken
people-
12 at one time? I've kind of pulled reports and we've never had any numbers that are at that point. I think we're chasing what ifs here.
Yeah, we are chasing what ifs,
And
yeah.
not reality of what our history has shown. And Bruce shared all that history.
Okay, well again, I'll just fall back on, we need to know what the burden is of a guest financially, if we're gonna come up with an amount of money that the guest passes are gonna cost. If we don't do that, I think we're just doing a disservice and we're comparing it apples and oranges to other communities. And we're not really coming up with what it costs our community for those extra guests. You know, I think if we came up with that amount, we knew what that amount was, and then we had the fees cover that amount, that's justifiable.
We're looking at something here that impacts the entire community. And I got to put my glasses on. 7,400 residents. And if my memory isn't failing me, Bruce, did you say 11 people bought an additional pass?
11 people bought an additional
2 or
2
more.
or more passes.
Okay, so out of 7,400 people, we're trying to regulate, for a better word, how those 11 people either feel picked on or whatever terminology you want to put on it, but to heck with the other 7,388. Is that where we're headed here?
No, I don't view it that way at all. In fact, I kind of reverse it in my head. I'm wondering, why are we coming up with a whole new policy and amounts of money for?
So you don't care about the 7,300 and not 88?
I do care, that's why I bring it up.
Well,
I care more about them than the 11 people that we're trying to tax more. You know, because everybody's situation changes from year to year, day to day.
So how this came about was the 2025 Budget Committee recommended this to the board last year. So we're at 11 months later doing a full circle of trying to quantify this and send it back to Ways and Means and discuss it. And the first option of all of these options, other than your suggestion, match what the budget committee presented for this year.
Did the
So
budget,
this is how it came about.
did the budget committee do a study of what it costs each guest, what the guest
They
burden
had
is?
lengthy discussions on costs, what other communities charge, and to stay competitive and cover those costs. So it's a very difficult situation.
In all fairness, one of the other conversations that occurred was, everybody looks at this, like in item A where it's $20 or $100 for 20 additional. Well, guess what? You're getting actually 40 punches for $100 because the first 20 are free. For me, that changes the number dramatically. And I do not find it offensive. Folks, if we put ourselves in a shell and think that our costs aren't increasing, we are sadly mistaken. We have to keep up with the times financially as best as we're capable of. And this
Request to be.
Just a second.
I forgot my train of thought here, but I'll yield to Tim. We have to keep up with the times.
Agreed.
And
so,
Hold on. He's
Go ahead,
keeping
Tim.
his thought. Okay, go ahead, Tim, now. His thoughts gone.
okay, so 3,910 homes within Westbrook Village. Before they bought their house, they had to agree with the founding documents. So Article 2, property rights. So if we have to keep up with the times because of pricing, then we need to consider an assessment. That's where we need to go with this. So, but then we need to do a survey to figure out, or we need to know how much money do we need to keep up. So if we're going to look at apples to apples, if we're looking at Sun City, for example, thank you guys for approving the RV. The lot looks great, and I appreciate that. But Sun City they allow their RV people to park there for within less than $400. So my deal is we can't do apples to apples, but we definitely do need to raise money. We definitely need to do that, but we need to figure out a way to do that through a special assessment. And fortunately, everybody's going to say, well, we're going to do, we just did the RV lot, and we're really considering fixing some of our temporary buildings. We need to do a special assessment. And I appreciate your efforts for doing the Get Past survey. But the information that you just presented, Bruce, should have been in our package. So we could have had the opportunity to look that over and come to the meeting with, to talk a little bit more intelligently. Maximum of 60 guests per year. According to Article 2, we can't do that. We can't limit the amount of people per founding documents.
Yes, you can. Boards are allowed to do reasonable rules.
I do believe
The next sentence, Mr. Davis, that you quote, says the board has this authority. We have had that legal advice.
Well, we also know that the Arizona state law said that in order to create policy, it must be congruent with which is our founding documents. So you may disagree on that one. That's okay.
Correct.
So Tim, if I've heard you correctly, your conclusion is that we should, if we find that we need to deal with the wear and tear or anything else in our community, instead of charging the people that are using it, you think that a special assessment should be charged to all members to take care of that?
if you need to use the CCNRs and the county documents to figure that out. So if there's no restrictions in property rights that says that the board can say you can only have 60 guests per year, please tell me where it says something like that. And then I'd be more than happy to do that. But if we're going to do parity, we got to be very careful.
Okay.
For example, we're going to talk about the RV lot and allowing, sports vehicles. And to be honest with you, if the space is open, then sell it. I'm good with that. But we have a policy, right? So if we're going to talk about something as secretary, I'm asking that all the information be provided within our package so we can come to this meeting and not continually talk about month after month for guest policy. So in January it was settled, and all then shortly after it was reversed, and that was back on the docket month after month after month. So my suggestion before was to get people like Kathy Crawford together and have some kind of an ad hoc committee and really work hard and figure this stuff out. And we've got to talk about that, and I believe it was in June, so I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, residents that want to come up and speak, Marcy?
Yes. Please come to the microphone. Remember, that's the shoes.
Joanne Gruncher, like,
Hold the mic
States.
down.
I just wonder, where does
Hold the mic down. I can't hear you.
We can. Thank you.
Joanne Gruncher, Lakeview Estates. I just wondered what the current policy is. Obviously, we haven't been using it, so.
Current policy for our guest punches are you get 20 complimentary as of January 1st for each property, and those expire at the calendar year. And then if you use those, you can purchase an additional card for 20 passes for $25. Those, when there's a monetary value to it, it never expires.
Yes.
Sandra Evans, Highland Hills. I want to understand, and Karen, if you can clarify this, is it the 1476 that you gave us for guest passes? Those were free?
Yes.
No.
No.
That was the total number of guest passes taken by residents.
Were they paid for?
That's a combination of both.
Okay.
The free punch, the free, and the ones that were paid for.
But
the
then
additional, the ones that, the number of guests that purchased additional guest punches where they actually paid for them was 239.
So you would actually subtract those two
Correct.
numbers?
Correct.
Okay. So that would be, just say 1150 or 1200.
Yeah, that,
Get free.
Use
correct.
complimentary.
Use the complimentary.
And then all you're talking about is a small number of people purchase additional, and then a second, even a inconsequential 10 people last year, 11, purchase more, and that small minuscule amount is all you're talking about paying for guest passes.
Yes.
Do I have that correct?
More than one, yes.
Thank you. I think that might answer your question.
Bruce, what, I heard the number 10,000 guests, was that correct for a year?
The number of guest punches that were used, those are individual punches, yes, were 10,182. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Correct.
That's not a small number to me, I'm sorry.
Max, out of that 10,182 though, what, was there half? 60%, 80% came in on the free side? Yes. So you're not, the 10,182 didn't pay for anything. Yes. Those could have just been your 20, my 20, Bruce's 20, Tim's 20, whoever.
So so the majority of the guests that are coming in on the free.
Correct.
Yes.
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 We're not trying to punish the folks that are using their guest passes. The number 11 should be the most consequential number here that we've been talking about. We have 11 people, 11 residents out of 7,400 that needed to purchase an additional guest pass.
2 or more.
2 or more.
Yes.
So here we are a year later,
Yes.
Yes.
and being a member of the Ways and Means Committee, we just didn't look at this lightly. We spent too much time trying to come up with the 3 plans that you see before you. We're not trying to punish anyone, but at the same time, should all of you, including all of us, help pay for the 11 people that are bringing in more than 40 guests a year? I mean, you can move these numbers around, and we looked at this extensively, believe me. It's pretty simple if you look at the math.
But those 11 people are paying for an additional guest pass, right?
As they should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not a burden on the whole community. They're paying.
Didn't you just arguing to the point that you wanted to keep the 25 bucks and call it good?
Yeah.
So you don't think that's penalizing the people sitting out there?
No, because I don't think each guest costs more than 25 cents.
But that's your opinion.
That's right, because I don't have anything to the contrary. I think we need to come up with the number.
And my opinion isn't the same as yours. That's why this survey was put together, to bring it to the entire community so we get, as a board, information back to us.
Right.
It's not just going to be up to the 7 of us to decide this obviously very important issue for 11 people. So, all of you that are going to vote, please read the survey, vote with your conscience, and let's move on.
Yeah. But we owe it to them to come up with an amount so they know what they're choosing. If the amount.
That's your opinion.
No, it's fact. We owe it to them to come up with an amount.
The financial committee came up with these amounts, Joe. That's where, at this point, we need to move forward.
That was my question, is how they came up with these amounts. Did they do a study of what the burden is of each guest? And the answer is no. So I think we need to do that.
How about a fourth suggestion on the survey? The 20 complimentary tickets annually, and then limit to 2 the number of extra tickets they can buy. I mean, a number of passes, right?
At what cost? 2 additional at what cost?
2 additional I don't know, somewhere between $25 and $100. I'm not concerned about the dollar amount at this point. I think that if you limit the number of passes that can be sold, you're accomplishing the same thing.
I think that's Mr. Davis's concern about putting that cap on. The reasonable rules and guidelines that the board is allowed to do. This is a majority of the community. This is the board's, or the Ways and Means recommendation based on the numbers, that they're looking at what's in the best interest at a very, very strong majority of the community. But they want to get everybody's opinion and do the survey.
Kathy Carter, Willow Bridge.
There's the opening paragraph discussing purpose of survey.
Someone speaking.
Tim, hold on 1 second, 1 second. We've already got the speaker started. Hold on, I'll let you speak. Go ahead, Kathy.
One of the things I think you're overlooking is liability. And wear and tear on the resources is one part of the cost, but our insurance for liability is also a big cost for our community. And when you allow all these other people to come in, you're insuring them. And that's going to cost us money on liability. All it's going to take is one 3-year-old to drown in that pool, and wait till you see what that lawsuit's going to cost each individual in this community. So you have to consider liability when you're thinking about allowing these guests in. The second thing is, when we purchased in here, we purchased into an age-restricted community. And now we are allowing children in our pools, etc., from 11 to 5. We extended their hours in the pool, and yet this is an age-restricted community. Next,
May I stop you for a second?
Yes.
Folks, 3 months ago, our president presented us with some decorum within this meeting. And there is so much talking going over our presenter right now, I can't even concentrate on her. Your voice can be heard right there, but talking over her while she's standing there is not acceptable here. Is that understood? I will remind you again. I hate to be the bad guy to do this. This has got to stop. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right or wrong. I don't like some of the stuff I'm listening to, but I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to talk over them. So please keep your comments to yourself unless you want to come up here and share them. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I stopped you, but
it's become common. I'm used to the bullying and harassment.
it's not
by now,
acceptable.
Unfortunately. No, it's never been acceptable, but I appreciate your making a comment about it. The other thing is, when several of you were interviewed when you were running for these positions, you were asked if you consider our community to be public or private, and our amenities to be public or private. The more people can purchase additional guest passes, the more public this becomes. And I understand your issue, Joe, about wanting to bring your family in, but this is not your family's rec center. And we have some families that live nearby in the community, and I know that they're bringing their families in here every weekend to participate or use one facility or another. They need to get their own rec center card or whatever, because this is not their family's rec center or rec community. Coming in as a guest, that was originally established a long time ago because you have family that comes to visit once or twice a year. And you may have friends that come to visit a couple times a year. And the way it was written was, you can bring in a guest, family members, a caregiver. And that's how the policy was written. It has now become, you can bring in an unlimited number of guests by purchasing additional guest cards. People are bringing in more than 100, and I know this. And yes, I'm going to bring up the pickleball courts because that's where I saw it myself, where they were bringing in between 10 and 20 people at one time, and they were doing it once a week, and there were 4 people that were doing that. So they bring in hundreds of guests during the season in the winter time, so you can't see it in the summertime thing. So it is a problem, and I do want you to consider liability and the cost of what's coming in with guests. So.
Okay. All right, so Kevin, hold 1 second. Tim, hold 1 second. This conversation is about this survey, all right? We have agreed to give you guys the town hall to be able to air all of your concerns and what you would like us to know. This conversation is about the survey. So if you could please limit your comments to the survey and what will be our feedback for that, for us to be able to vote on what we're going to do forward on that, I would appreciate it so that we can move this along. Tim, as a board member, you may speak next. Kevin, you're on hot seat.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, this is about homeowner survey. And then first it was cut for the supplies or carry supplies with additional information, and then I appreciate that this way I have beforehand. Yes, it's very convoluted. I would like to see what the opening paragraph discussing the purpose of the survey is going to be and a justification for a maximum of 60 guests per year. The rest of it is fine to me.
Okay. Kevin, go ahead.
Kevin Nielsen, Ironwood Estates. This survey, I think you need to be careful about push-pulling. We hear from a former treasurer who has an opinion about the numbers, but nobody, including Karen, has come up with any basis for these numbers, other than, well, this is what they charge at Pebble Creek, this might be what they charge at Sun City. There is a way to calculate that. In fact, one of the members who spoke before brought this up at a meeting 3 months ago. They should pay what we pay. Look at what we pay. Break those numbers down, about $3.25 million a year, 7,400 of us, 365 days. It's less than $1.25. That's for everything in this community, not just going to the pool. We're not charging people to go to the pool who are residents and not charging people who don't go to the pool. Pool is an amenity. That's where half the guests go, more than half. We're talking about 30 people a day. They don't fill up the pool. They don't fill up any facility. The 11 people that bought 2 or more packets of guest passes, how does that infringe on anybody else's right when we're not inundating any of our facilities, but maybe the gym? That's undersized. But we're not causing a problem by having guests. I think this boils down to a few people who want to change the CCNRs, but they know they don't have the votes. So they want to get 4 board members to try to change them by making it super expensive and by limiting the number. But that's not the intent of the CCNRs, and you, as fiduciaries, need to pay attention to the CCNRs and what's actually happening in this community. Look at the numbers, look at the dollars, then make your decision, and then make your survey. That's all we're asking.
Okay. No?
Norma Apodaca, Tamarack Place. I'm asking for clarification on this survey. As you were reading those numbers, we were all writing furiously. And I have, in 2024, there were 239 additional guest passes bought, and then 11 on top of that who bought even a second set. So are we talking about 11, or are we talking about 239 plus 11?
Okay. Total number of residents that took out guest passes were 1,476. Now, the number of residents who bought a second or more passes, or punch cards, is 239. And the 11 bought 3 or more.
2 or more. Purchased 2 or more.
Okay, yeah, purchased 2 or
3.
more, correct.
Purchased 2.
Even I get used when I either add or leave out free one.
So we're not talking about 11 people, we're talking about 239 plus 11 people, plus 11 extra.
Well, it'd be 239, the 11 are already included in the
Okay,
239.
then that's the number we're talking about,
Correct.
11.
Correct.
Okay, and so you said 160 so far for
And that's,
this year.
folks, that's not people, that's residences.
That's
Okay.
passes purchased by residents.
Per resident, because each
Okay,
home is allowed to buy it, follow me, it's not the 7,400, it's 3,910.
yeah, thank you for the clarification, because I think people are looking at the 11 number when it's actually the 239.
Okay.
So Norma, to clarify your question, 2024, 239 additional passes were purchased, which equates to 0.06% of 3,910. Is that, you're okay?
Debbie Baker, Meadow Park. This survey that apparently is going to go out to the residents does not have option D, leave things as they are. A lot of people don't even know what the actual real policy is, so I think that would be something to put on that survey, to leave everything as it is. Number two, somebody mentioned about our facility or our community being private. Well, why is bingo not part of this conversation? We have all these outside people coming every month to play bingo. Why are we not charging them?
Shall I answer that? We are required by Arizona State Gaming. We are required by Arizona State Gaming to keep $1 per attendee. So if we have 200 people, the association keeps $200 for the month. Every additional dollar after that must be paid back in payouts. So many years ago, the board decided to allow outside people to continue to get away from the $20 pots, the $40 pots, and the $50 payouts. I think if you would like to reduce that to residents only, bingo would probably go away. But we can sure track that. We can spend another year and track all of this.
Okay. Any other comments?
After hearing folks, I do feel that this survey falls a little short, and I do believe we should add as an additional option our present policy as an option.
So it should be in the opening paragraph as an explanation that was just brought up, so everybody understands the current policy. And then you're talking about adding D, another option?
Correct.
Okay, so it's two-part, okay?
But someone would have to amend this motion as stated.
Well, the only issue that I have with that is that everything else goes up around here. Everything, we are capped by our CPI with regards to the homeowner assessments, yet our budget has to be based on the, whatever, somebody help me.
Consumer price index. Yeah, what do you have?
Inflation.
Inflation.
There we go. It was gonna come, I knew it was coming. And stuff, is we need to do some adjustments to this price and not keep it the same, because the same being true that you're not saving, the same $25 that you spent on something last year is not the same $25 you're spending on it this year, just with natural inflation. So we've got to have something in there that we don't keep it stagnant. That's the problem, is that this looks like such a big hit to the community, but had we been just gradually adding on to it like we have on so many other things, 5, 10 a year, it would just go along with regular inflation that has been occurring. It still costs us more. And somewhere we have to absorb those costs in this.
So maybe part of the final board decision is that wherever it lands, each year, it does increase by CPI, just like the assessments.
It should have an escalator clause in it. I
So we
agree.
don't have to do this again.
Exactly, because the amount of time, money, and effort that has been put into this is a lot. So I think building an escalator clause right into this is probably be a wise way to protect this community in the long run.
So our preservation fee has the up to 5% built in each year.
Yes,
And then our annual assessment is CPI.
okay.
So we need to come up with a baseline. Like, how long ago was it that it went up to purchase?
So it went from $20 to $25 back in 2016, 9 years ago?
9 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can identify 9 years ago, if $20 was the baseline then, or what have you, see what the increase would be based on whatever
CPI
index or
has been over 9
CPI or
years.
whatever.
Mhm.
If that's going to be an option, we need to come up with that amount so people can see what that means in today's dollars.
Doug Karnowski, Village Sheriff. I agree, everything has increased tremendously. When you talk to people that, oh my God, I'm paying double for that. Price of eggs, price of everything, I totally agree. And I'm not saying that we should not increase the price. People usually say, gosh, it's doubled in price. It has doubled in price out there, but what you're looking to do is take 25 and turn it into $100. So you're 4 times the amount. I think that initially there was one comment when it was first being spoke about doubling it and going to $50. I didn't think that was, unheard of. I would be willing to absolutely do that. Instead of taking a big hit up to $100, I usually don't buy additional passes, but that was just a thought. If you put in the survey, currently it is at $25, what would be, even a line, what would your suggestion be? There is going to be an increase, something to that effect, opposed to just slapping $100 on it and saying, this is what you are getting. This is going to be your choice, 100 and so on. So I thought that might be a way of increasing, but not 4 times the amount right off the bat. Maybe down the road you'll have to do it a little more. I totally agree with that. And then just one other real quick comment as to what Debbie had said, Debbie Baker, about charging bingo. Thank you for explaining that, because I didn't know that there was a $1 fee. But that does wear and tear every single month with people going in and playing bingo. It wear and tears on our facility that we are all paying for. So we have to take that into consideration, as well as our farmers market. We don't charge people to come in there. Nobody would come. Or very little. So we have to also take into consideration, there's a lot of people that do not use some of these facilities, and we're looking to increase based on, okay, I just lost my train of thought there, but yeah, so I understand and I see both sides of it, but I would like you to also consider that $100 is steep if you are just, and I know you're not looking to penalize 239 or 11 people, but I think that, we have to take into consideration everything else is going up, and we have to be kind to our residents as well. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
So Donna, would you suggest that maybe the first stair step be 50 in all of these
That would be
options?
my suggestion. I would be much more comfortable in accepting that than saying, hey, we're gonna 4 times the amount is now
Right.
what you have to pay. $100 I feel is steep.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
So you have a motion and a second?
We have a motion and a second based on the current survey that is in front of us.
Correct.
So I will call for the vote. All those in favor of the current survey as it is written, raise your hand.
A point of order,
Oh, okay.
question. Do we have to vote this one down to make changes?
Unless,
Unless it passes.
huh?
He wants to know if it needs to be voted down to make changes.
In order to make the changes?
There's two options.
Right, that or the motion can be
It
amended.
fails or it can be amended.
Okay. So, any amendment to the motion?
Who made the motion?
Amy Miller?
I did.
I know it's
I'd
been
like
a
to
while.
amend the motion to make the first stair step be $50.
On all the options?
Sure. And I'd also like to amend the motion that the current policy be incorporated in the options presented.
I'll second that.
Wait.
Who seconded? Who did?
Hold on.
Steve was the second, the original second. So just to clarify, Amy's amending her motion, not as the survey presented, but to be the first step on A, B, and C to be $50, and then add a section, an option D to leave it as it is. 25 per complimentary 20, and then 25 per card thereafter. So do nothing? Okay, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That was my intent.
Steve, do you still agree with that motion?
I would agree to add the existing policy. That makes the most sense to me. I don't know if I'm totally in agreement with the $50.
So do you want to withdraw your second?
No, I think for the community as a whole, we need to move on. So yes, I'll hold my second.
Thank you.
And add the existing policy and Donna's recommendation to start at 50 instead of 100.
Okay. Joy, one quick question.
Yeah, are you gonna add a possibility of the just increasing scale? Like you basically had talked about the 0.6 or whatever that, and see what that from 2016 and see what that actually comes to, or make it as a possibility that it would increase yearly?
You mean an escalator clause?
Yes.
I think for the purposes of the survey, I think we just need to gather the information where the community thought process is. That part about adding an escalator, that can be as a result of conversations even through the town hall and stuff, so.
I agree.
Okay. I just wondered if you wanted
Yeah,
to put that in there.
Yeah, this doesn't lock anything in with that. This is just to get
Exactly. The
feedback from the
escalator
community.
clause has to be built into this.
Okay. Any questions? Vince?
Is the survey going out before the town hall?
Need to come up. Vince, what is your subdivision?
The Pinehurst.
Thank you.
Is the survey's going out before the town hall?
Yes.
Okay. Have you thought about reversing it? And the reason I'm bringing that up is we've had a conversation with 25 people here, and now we're changing it because of the information that we're getting from this group. We want the survey to be worthwhile.
Well, yes.
And if we go to the town hall and we get other suggestions, then create a survey. So that there's more input. Okay? Like I said, 25 people, now we're changing this. Let's get the people that want to be there to come in and get their ideas, then put the survey together and send it out. That would be my suggestion.
All right, did you have something?
Okay, so I just wanted to confirm the motion before you ask for the vote.
Okay.
So the motion was made by Amy Miller that the survey have 4 sections, A, B, C, and D. A would be 50 for the first stair, and then the rest. B, 50 for the first. C, 50 for the first. And then D would be leave as is. We would also be adding what the current policy is in the opening paragraph. And Steve did second that motion. Is that correct, Barb? Are we on the same page, everybody?
Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions?
And I guess now the question is, when is the survey going out? Does that take a second motion?
Yes.
A separate
It would.
motion?
Yes.
It would.
Okay, I would suggest that.
Okay. So this motion is just specific to the actual survey that we've got here that we've just outlined again. Okay? So I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor of this survey as we've lined it out, please raise your hand. Tim, your vote?
No. No.
I'm sorry, say that again.
No.
No or yes?
No.
Is your thumb up or down?
It's down.
Okay, thank you. Got it, came through. Okay. All right. So that passes with 1 no. Okay, now for the second motion as to when we should send the survey out. Matt?
I would move that we send it out as soon as the monkey can put it together.
Okay?
The max motion is that we send it out as soon as we can.
ASAP.
Do we need a second before we can?
I would assume
Yes, we
this
need a
would be
second.
by electronic means, right? Not by mail.
Correct.
I'll second that. Just for the purpose of getting discussion going.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what he's saying.
Tim, say that again.
To discuss it, I think that we should be able to see the final draft of the survey before we send it out.
See the final drafts of the survey before it's sent out.
You're asking that the board be able to see the final draft before it's sent out?
Yes, because you're asking to send out a survey without stating it in total.
Karen, what are our requirements as a board in this regard?
The board can require to see the opening paragraph was Mr. Davis's comment that he would like to know what the opening paragraph, I think Marcy, you're the one that's going to be writing the opening paragraph. Add the current policy. The time frame, it would be out for 2 weeks. And now the question, and it's agreed that it's a multi-choice, and that we would put our competitors' fees on there. It was also suggested that we add the data that Bruce read. Yeah, it's gonna get very convoluted, but to answer your question, sure, the board can hold back and not send it out until they take a vote on it. Now, your options are waiting until the October board meeting, and we're hoping to get a town hall, right? We want to hit as many residents as we can. And
we set that for email vote.
We set that for when?
An email vote.
We set out the draft for vote via email.
So he wants to do a unanimous written consent by the board of directors for the draft of the survey and not wait until October.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying, Tim?
Yep.
Okay.
If that will expedite this, I agree with Tim.
Okay. All right, so any other conversation? Right now, we have a motion on the table to send the survey as soon as we
With the recent conversation, I'll withdraw that. I'd like to withdraw that motion. On my approval.
Okay.
You want to withdraw and not amend?
Withdraw.
Okay.
Since we have to go through the process before we can send it out.
Okay.
That's delaying this again for another month.
So can I make a motion that we move forward with an email draft here for our, that needs to be a motion if I understand that correctly?
Let's finish the first motion. Steve, Max has withdrawn his motion. Do you
Well,
withdraw your
okay,
second?
I'll amend it. I'll amend it.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how to word it, but if some of the legal beagles give me a
How
word on this.
about you amend your motion to read that the survey go out after the board
Approved by
of draft,
email.
a full draft survey
draft.
by unanimous written consent.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
Is that where we're headed? Tim and Joe? Yeah. Tim and Joe, is that what you were hoping for?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Max, do you need a second or are you okay down there?
Do you second the amendment?
I second Max's amendment. I'm sitting closest to the door and it's getting awful warm. I'll tell you that.
Okay, so Steve seconds the amendment. Thank you.
Okay. Having heard all discussion, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that passes.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, moving on. Second Sunday market. Amy, would you please provide us with an update?
Yes, I'd be glad to do that, but first I want to clarify something a little bit. It's frequently pointed out that people from outside the community attended the market and were not charged. That's wrong. Their booth fees over the seasons ended up contributing over $40,000 to the community. So I did not take a salary, I just turned everything over to the HOA. And that kind of brings up an issue that we've encountered. Denise and Karen and I worked on this project over the summer and had two very qualified candidates interview for a possible managerial position. Both of them went back to their offices and penciled out that they could not make the marketplace work and garner any kind of salary. So nobody wants to manage the market. So I'm going to put forth a little bit of a suggestion that I will do one event and have it be a home and garden show. I'm going to suggest to Denise that she and Colby work with me and we'll put on a heck of a show in probably mid-February next year. And that, I think that I can charge the type of booth fee that will help recoup some of the lost income from what the marketplace was. And if you're a vendor and want to participate in this, I'd love to have you join us. So that's where it stands on the marketplace. For clubs and studio spaces that normally participated during the market, it's my suggestion also to Denise, I'm giving you a lot of homework here, sorry, that in the fall, we have some kind of open house for all the rec centers. And that way, all the clubs and studio spaces can have their studios open and have the sales then. And I think it should be planned where it's highly advantageous for the holiday season sales, but also would give residents a good idea of what clubs we have. So,
Two questions I have.
yes.
We do have the Arts and Crafts Show in November, so I don't think the club open house should compete with that.
No, I agree.
So could we do it early December, like on a Saturday?
I think
open
that's
house?
highly ideal for the rec center open house. This is not a new idea to me, the open house. This is the way, before I started the marketplace, this type of event was handled. The clubs all kind of got together and promoted and did this. So I'm suggesting we go back to the original plan, because I really kind of want to retire.
So to clarify that, the second Sunday's marketplace brings in $3,850 per year to the association. So the thought process, thinking outside the box, since you can't get managers, is to do a once a year home and garden or some type of a big event, and then maybe an additional concert, and that we can make up that loss of revenues.
Okay. Any questions? Nita?
Would it be possible?
Can you come up, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
Nita Lewandowski from
Heatherbrook.
Heatherbrook.
Would it be possible to say do one in February or March for the actual clubs before all of our snowbirds leave?
That's what the Home and Garden Show will accomplish.
Oh, when is that?
I'm projecting, I think, like February 11th.
Oh, all right.
I have to check with the calendar gal, but that's
Okay.
when I'm projecting.
I'm good with that.
So we're talking about the Arts and Crafts Fair in November, a club open house in December, and a home and garden in February.
That is correct. That is correct. And Denise, I will do the majority of the work, I promise.
But for 1 year, it will then get turned over.
Then
to
I'm
the-
retiring.
Okay, Linda, did you have a question? Or comment?
Yes. Linda Hoffman, Country Club Estates. I just had one comment when you were talking about possibly having something the first weekend in December.
It's your concert.
We have concert. Village Voices has their Christmas or holiday concert.
Maybe they could sing at the event, and we could have a two thing going on.
We'll have a look at all that. Linda, thank you. Thank you, I don't want to.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. So everybody received this really great folder from a really wonderful club that I'm super excited about, being a Gen Xer myself. Max, do you want to introduce the club, please? Do you want to introduce the club?
The rec committee.
Rec committee.
Okay, they are calling, the person is on here, then.
Yes.
Gen Xers, I believe. There's a dance performance type thing. Not performance, they want to hold dances for Gen Xers. With Gen X music, I'm being told, but everybody's invited, whether you're Gen X or not.
So this has been approved by the rec committee.
They have it's gone and been approved by the rec committee.
Okay.
And so it is being brought here for approval.
Can I have a representative come up and kind of explain to
Explain it a
us?
little bit better.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
I'm trying to everybody while you're talking. So our idea, hi, Sophia Phillips, Lakeview Estates.
Kim Mraz, Lakeview Estates.
So we've been talking, noticing that our community demographically has been shifting a bit to folks more in their 50s to early 60s, and that some of the events that we're thinking about maybe might be geared towards newer genres of music and newer types of things, and maybe events that a younger demographic might be interested in. So that's where we kind of talked about it. There's about already like 30 or 40 of us who are interested in getting this thing going. What questions can we answer for you?
Have you found a room?
We've already got it.
I talked to Obi, we booked the dates as much as we could.
Seriously, you checked the calendar and
Yes.
it's good?
We're penciled in, we just have to, once we become a club, then we'll officially approve it, but we do have 4 dates that are locked in currently.
Okay. All right, so can I get a motion, please?
As chairman of the rec committee, I will move that we accept the Gen Xers as a sanctioned club of Westbrook Village.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Even though they don't like my music.
We love you.
But I'm guessing you're not into talking heads or puppets or anything like that.
All right, any comments, questions? Anybody? Okay, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Woo-hoo!
Welcome. Nice that someone in the audience started looking at the demographics of this community. Kudos to you guys.
Yes. Okay. Next item on our list is the non-resident club participation club card fee. That one is just... Okay. This was passed at the rec committee back in June, and I should have brought this to the July board meeting, and that was on me, so I will go ahead and introduce that. The board, rec committee had agreed every year in June that they were going to examine this club rate fee in preparation for the upcoming budget meetings and stuff. So it is the recommendation of them that we raise that fee from $50 to $75 per year for the non-resident club participation card fee. So can I get a motion?
I will move that we raise the non-resident participation, the club participation fee to $75 per year.
I'll second that, just for the discussion purposes.
Okay.
My first question is, going from 50 to 75, is that enough, or should we go from 50 to 100?
I think jumping at a third is plenty for the first year. There are other years to come when we can discuss another raise again. But right now, I don't think there's that many. It's not going to amount to a lot of money. Some clubs may pay it for their members, depending on how many members they have. So I would suggest that 50 to 75 is a pretty good jump for the first year anyway.
You guys still have, guest participants in?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you.
Because my brain just stopped working there, Matt, sorry.
Yeah,
The hearing aids are having trouble. I guess it's just the program I'm
Thank you.
I can't hear Tim for anything. But anyway, yeah, we have, the players have 3 at the moment. We're being very selective on who we accept as a participant.
And I think overall, that is kind of the way with most of them. Most clubs do not accept non-residents, and the clubs that do not have a high number of those participants.
I remember going back in my history, being on many committees here, that this has been talked about way too much, so I'd be happy to, whatever you need, Max, we'll just go 75 and call it.
I can tell you from the players, the qualification is that actually the three are technical people.
Okay.
They're running the sound.
That's what I thought I remembered.
Which are also helping out other PAC groups.
This is my suggestion, that we start to pass measures like this with an inflationary escalator in them based on the CPI, but rounded up to the nearest dollar.
I agree.
I don't want it to be 27 cents.
Come on, you sure you don't? I'll accept that amendment. And I'll hold my second.
Okay, so we've got the amendment with an acceleration, CPI. All right.
Can't be simple this and just let them use the gift pass.
No, it's different.
No, it's too difficult to do that, and it's different. So the difference is, Tim, with these club participant cards, these people are allowed only to come in and use the facility that the club is using at that moment. They are not allowed to use any other parts of our community. So, for example, I have two Interdesert dancers. They come into the dance room, they dance, and then they leave, or they participate in what's now named Westbrook Performs and not the Follies, for anybody who sees that. For Westbrook Performs, and that's specifically what they use it for. They're not allowed to come in, quote, as our guests and be able to use the facilities. So that's the difference with them.
And they pay a club annual fee on top of this,
right?
Correct?
Yes, they play. Yes, if the club has an annual fee or anything, they pay that in addition to it. This is just specifically to the association. So,
Okay.
Kevin, come on.
I have a couple of questions. First of all, I support the outsiders who come in and help, especially put on the events. However, do they affect what if one of them fell and broke their neck? Would they affect our insurance? Is there wear and tear while they're on the facility? Something we might want to consider, or maybe forget about, huh?
Well, they do sign the waivers. So I assume that.
They personally sign waivers. Yeah, every club member.
But they must be sponsored by a club or a resident.
Correct. Yes, Linda.
Linda Hoffman, Country Club Estates. I was reading through the paragraph that you have. I like that your final sentence in the or paragraph says will expire one date from the date of issue. Okay. When is this policy going to go into effect? I have a personal reason for asking. My club is renewing our club guest passes this month, September. I've already issued the check for $50. So I need to know when this policy is going into effect. Well, am I going to have to reissue, cancel the check, and is it effective like today?
That's up to the board.
Okay.
It's an annual
consideration.
So we don't, this pass does not go calendar year like our guest passes.
Right.
This is based on someone renewing it September 1st to September 1st.
Well, right now, we're going to renew September.
Right, so it's up to the board when they want to make it effective.
So I need to know whether I have to cancel the checks or have them reissued.
Let's let the board make the decision.
Just give them an extra.
Can we amend that motion and say that it goes effective January 1?
I think that I would accept that amendment because I think that the clubs need to be aware of it, other than just from our minutes, and that gives us a month or two to bring it for the clubs to discuss it and to accept it. Maybe you have to change their bylaws.
And most importantly, we can present it at the annual club president's meeting in November.
That's it.
Okay. Steve, are you okay with that?
Do I have to change my second then?
You just have to say you agree.
Max,
I accept the amendments, whatever.
I agree.
Okay, anything else? Nita?
Nita from Heatherbrook. I just signed somebody up 4 days ago. She paid her $50. It's been put into the front desk already. Will this start January 1 and she'll have to pay 75 then on top of that?
Nope, annual renewal.
Annual renew. So her card expires the day that she purchased it 1 year later.
Okay,
So
so
if-
January 2nd,
Right.
it's gonna go to $75.
Correct.
All right.
So when they go to renew,
It's 75.
correct.
I think it's, we're closed on January 1st, so any renewals as of January 2nd would be $75.
Let's amend that amended amendment.
You're confusing me. What was the original motion?
So our
So I
current,
can,
yeah, go ahead.
okay, so we have an amended motion made by Max, seconded by Steve, to accept the recommendation from the Recreation Committee to increase the annual non-resident club participation card from $50 per year to $75 per year with an escalator of CPI each year rounded up to the nearest dollar, effective January 2nd, 2026. Does that sound correct, Max and Steve?
Yes.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that passes. All right, moving on. Next is the 2025 Budget Committee member recommendations. Bruce, please.
Well, Ways and Means for upcoming budget was looking for 4 candidates to help us make decisions on 2026's budget. And thankfully, we had 4 candidates volunteer, so we accepted them all. They were Kurt Kimmerling. Frank, are you here? How do you pronounce your last name, sir?
Kimmerling.
That's Kurt.
Oh, no, Kurt, I'm Frank. Is Frank here? Did I say Kurt? I'm sorry.
I don't see Frank here.
Is it Macedon? I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Frank Macedon, Paul Schnetzky, and Jim Schultz. And I am delighted to have all 4 of them. They're all very going to add positive influence on our decision making coming up soon. Thank you.
So we need a motion.
I would like to make a motion to approve Kurt Kimmerling, Frank Macedon, Paul Schnetzky, and Jim Schultz to serve on our budget committee for the year 2026.
I second that motion.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Okay. All right. that
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, that passes. Next is the non-recreational vehicle storage for the RV lot.
Can I intervene?
Yes. What do we need to do?
The budget committee dates are just.
Oh, sorry.
Can we approve those dates, page 62?
Just so everybody knows, everybody replied on the dates that are up there.
Yes.
That are up there, and all were able to be present, so we'd be a full committee.
So can we get a motion, Bruce? that we
I would
accept
like to
those
make
dates?
a motion to approve these dates as written above me here for our committee dates.
I second.
Okay. All right, any comments, questions?
Hey, Karen, or Bruce, either one of you two. I know there's been some discussion about this meeting being open to residents or not being open to residents. Where are we on that issue?
These budget meetings always have been and always will be open to residents.
Thank you.
The structure of the committee has also been always. We have our 3 Ways and Means members, and we have 4 residents. So the majority is from 4 residents through our budget committee. As we can see on the agenda, the 3 open meetings are at the Lakes Multipurpose, and then we have moved, everybody sitting here, please mark your calendar. You'll have a special Board of Directors meeting on Wednesday, October 29th at the Lakes Ballroom to present the budget.
Correct. And if anybody sitting out there would like to attend this meeting, it is open, and we don't ignore residents. So if you have a voice in the budget, you're welcome to attend.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We good? Okay. Now, the non-recreational vehicle storage.
Call for the vote.
Oh, sorry.
She's trying to move right along, isn't she?
Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Tim? Okay, that passes. Okay. Now are we ready?
Yes.
The suspense. Non-recreational vehicle storage, RV lot.
Okay, so at the Ways and Means Committee, I shared with them for the first time that I can look back for many, many years, we are having some vacancies in our RV lot. I know after 31 years, I've sold my motor home. Things are changing in the world and the economy, and we currently have 12 open spaces in our RV lot. So the discussion at the Financial Committee was how do we prevent any financial loss from this? And they tasked me to reach out to our insurance agent and find out, because our contract currently says recreational vehicles only, and this is by residents only. And the reason it's for the residents is it is an amenity, and the association is not taxed on this revenue. The association gets almost $100,000 a year off of the revenue of the RV storage lot. Okay, so people talk about the asphalt and the wall repairs. This storage lot contributes more than any expenses that we've ever spent on that lot. It is another revenue stream for the association. So it was a great suggestion to see where our insurance coverage would allow for a resident to put in a classic vehicle with a cover on it, or just another vehicle that's not labeled a recreational vehicle per definition. So as you can see, the insurance and hold harmless sections of the agreement look great. Also, the limitation to storage of dangerous and flammable materials is perfect. The carrier will be fine with storage of any type of trailer or vehicle, provided they are insured, they hold Westbrook harmless, and do not store hazardous materials. No changes are needed in your current policy. So the association is covered for liability. Anybody that stores in the lot is required to provide the insurance and sign the waiver in the contract. So the only thing we would do is now open it up to non-recreational vehicles. Bruce had asked about some restriping of our larger spaces. Well, the larger spaces are all rented. We don't have a problem renting those. We still have a waiting list on some of those larger spots. So we want to test the waters, find out what the need of the residents are. If we needed to do some temporary striping and get 2 rentals, we could possibly do that. But the 40-foot spots are prime, so we don't have that to break down into 2 spots.
Just out of curiosity, have we had requests for other than RV?
We have some.
Yes.
Some.
Like technically a boat.
Is a recreational vehicle, we allow those now.
We do
Sure.
count that as a
Sure.
record? Okay, good.
So we have 8 side-by-sides that are on trailers, we
Right.
have box trailers, we have yes, all of that is allowed. This is more of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a motion?
Work Village have a village in there too. It's interesting, people wrote that out, that would be nice. It's like where you can put boxes in it and different stuff, so if you're moving from one place or to the next, or moving furniture for somebody, it'd be nice to know that thing can be rented out to Westbrook Village residents. We have other trailers in there that are similar to that. So those are the non-recreational vehicle storage items.
Did you catch what he said?
I think he's talking about moving storage. We've talked about, the Ways and Means asked, somebody suggested about putting in the mobile minis and renting those out. That's a whole different, but if a resident rents a trailer or a pod and they want to put it in there and they sign the liability waiver and they prove that they have it insured, I don't see why that wouldn't be allowed as well.
I kind of feel like everything needs to be on wheels.
Okay, so let's make a
Because if
motion
you
to
put a
that.
storage shed in there, you're going to have people storing things, maybe spending the night.
You're not wrong, Joe. I mean, it should be, and it's not really, we should really have a motion, I think, for this discussion.
No.
I make a motion to discuss this. And, I guess, do I make a motion to pass this? Along with any stupid.
You can make your motion as you suggested.
I make a motion that we amend our rental agreement to say non-recreation, to include non-recreational vehicles. All vehicles should have wheels and be non-commercial vehicles. I don't want a bunch of trucks parked in there.
Okay, so amend the agreement to be all vehicles, but non-commercial are not allowed.
And I think I'd rather see them parking there than in their driveways.
Well, Max, you are really exposing people coming in and out of that lot every day, and employees, and the wear and tear, and the access to the other 150 people's belongings. This was a discussion at Ways and Means. Yeah. So Amy made that motion?
Yes, I did.
I'll second that.
Further questions and discussion? So Tim, would your storage be on wheels?
Actually, please forgive that. I think I missed what I meant is currently Westbrook Village Substation has a trailer in there as we speak. And in theory, let's say, for example, I wanted to run it to put boxes in it and then go across the street and put it in another house. Can I rent that out? So there's other trailers in there like that. Or you can lower the gate and then you can drop a vehicle in it, or you can put boxes in there or other stuff for moving purposes. So there's currently trailers in there that are made to transport other items. And I just want to make sure that that's okay.
Yeah, as I discussed earlier, we have many box trailers, whether it's storing personal belongings or side-by-sides or anything like that, that's always been allowed. Or a flatbed with a side-by-side on it. There's, all of those are considered recreational vehicles. All on wheels.
Yep.
but no commercial.
I think it's important everybody understand we're talking about what, 6 spots?
We have 12 right now.
We have 12 now.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
Numbers
Renee
growing.
believes this fall that will shrink when people go
Okay.
back, so I see with that.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion by Amy, seconded by Joe. Do we have any comments or questions or? Yes. It will become your friend.
I'm not sure, like David states, if you have people waiting for the 40-foot ones, can't you create more of those?
We tried. We did move some things around and create the largest to the best of our ability. We have an access and a swing and things like that. So we did do that first. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
And just to confirm, this is an annual contract. Everything else stays the same. You can't come in and rent for 1 month. We don't prorate. It is such an affordable rate to our residents. It is an annual contract.
Yep. Not changing anything other than to add those few things. Okay? Anything else?
No.
All right, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. Tim?
Yes.
Okay, that passes.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there. We're on to committee reports. This should hopefully not take long. All right, so first up is architectural control, which is me. You have 2 sets of minutes in your binder as we have to continue to meet. We do not get to have a break. Thankfully, it's not been super busy through the summer, so we have been working on a couple of standards, and hopefully we'll have at least 1 to you guys, if not maybe 2, here very shortly. So, next is government relations. Tim?
Since WVA was successful in acquiring state land for purchase, and they were able to purchase that, and so they have to go ahead with the microchip facility, which will probably mean that for property valuable. So that's it.
Okay. IT, we have not had a meeting in July or August. Landscape facilities, Bruce?
We did not meet in August.
Okay. Long-range planning, that is me. Your minutes for July are in there. We are starting to do work on the 3rd survey, which will go out to all the residents. This is just discussing issues of long-range planning. So we are currently working on that. Cornerstone is next. We did have a meeting on August 8th. We have decided to go ahead and participate in the community garage sale with all of the proceeds that we earn going to the Cornerstone Committee. So there'll be some information coming out to the residents shortly on that, on some potential donations to help us build that up. And then we've got conversations of some other upcoming events after the first of the year when more people are back in the village.
So just to confirm, you are taking donations from the residents to sell at the community garage sale, and those funds go to the Cornerstone?
That is correct.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Yep. Let's see, Personnel Committee, Steve?
No summer meetings.
Okay. Rec Committee, Max?
The minutes of our July meeting are in the binder. We did not hold a meeting in August.
Okay. Tim, Town Hall?
Nothing to report right now. I need to meet with the president. That's when we can set on a date for the town hall.
Okay. Bruce, Ways and Means?
Minutes are in your binder. Again, I'll express the health of our community financially. We're in good shape. We did spend some funds this last couple months paving the RV lot, but all this was budgeted. The number of Delinquent homeowners on their yearly assessments are dwindling rapidly. Thank you to, she's not here, she left, Renee, for taking care of us on that. Things look good.
Okay. Joint golf course and association. We've had a couple meetings over the summer, mostly about getting the perimeter walls of the golf course. All those, that work is being done as we speak, and also the thorough-scaping behind the tennis courts and stuff. So.
And then we're in discussions of the contract.
Yes, a lot. Yep. All right, manager's report.
All right. It's been busy. Everybody else took the summer off. This is our time to thrive. We have a lot of projects going on. Again, it was asked earlier, there are 3 major projects that will be going to the standing committees. We have the Vistas Complex Paint Project, the Fitness Center Refresh Project, and the pickleball fence. Sean has been working very diligently to getting bids on those 3 projects. So please join us at standing committee meetings to review and hear those presentations.
All right, that takes us to the good of the order. Does anybody have any goodness other than this meeting is almost done? Bill?
Hi, Bill Wolf, Cypress Point. I just wanted to address the technical aspect of this meeting this morning and the difficulty that we had hearing Tim Davis because his voice kept breaking up. He sounded like this, which is why there was some difficulty in understanding things. This is a simple problem to fix. It's called clipping. It means that either the level on the phone that he's using is too high, or the level on the amplifier here that's feeding our speakers is too high. And when that happens, the units try to go into a protect mode, which means they clip, they cut off portions that are too loud. We've had this before at other meetings. In one of the rec committee meetings, all we had to do was have the person talk softer and it all went away.
Right.
But it's just something that we need to look at because I know some of the comments that Tim were making, which were relative to the discussions, were incredibly difficult to really hear and understand. So I just would recommend that we take a look at that in the future.
Okay.
Awesome, Bill, and you know what? You should have jumped up at the start of the meeting and let us know that. Maybe we could have fixed it while we were in meeting.
I'm too old to jump.
He did have his walking shoes on.
Yeah, it is very sporadic because we've been dialing people in all summer and haven't had that clipping. So again, there's some tweaking that needs to be done on both ends.
Perfect.
Actually, there's also another technical reason, which probably isn't the case. But if Tim's phone service is through AT&T, they are notorious for having that issue when a speakerphone is being used.
Interesting.
So.
Okay. All right. Anything else to add to the good of the order?
Thank you all for sitting there as long as you have.
All right, board, we have executive session. We'll take a few-minute break and then begin executive session in the back room. Thank you.